Hi. Hello. Welcome. This is going to be probably one of the most beneficial, most powerful, most healing videos that I've ever done on a social media platform. So if you're joining me for the very first time, everyone, if you don't know who I am, my name is Jason Mangan, and I humbly call myself a celestial transformational soul coach. I specialize in physical detoxification, nutritional replenishment, fasting, and I also specialize in emotional detoxification, which is actually the true root cause of why anyone has any type of pain or suffering in their life, is when an individual is actually suppressing, denying, avoiding, and emotionally running away from their emotional wounds or from their emotional injuries, or you can say emotional traumas, or you can also say emotional sins. Sins basically just means the root form of sin or emotional sin basically means living out of harmony, living out of emotional alignment with Source Creator's love and truth. And the truth is, most people living on this earth realm, they're living out of emotional alignment of Source Creator's love and truth. They're living in their emotional addictions. They're living in their emotional attachments. They're living in their emotional codependencies. And so the way they think and the way they feel and the way they move and interact and behave throughout the earth realm and throughout their interactions and relationships and friendships is very, very emotionally unloving. Unloving towards themselves, unloving towards others, unloving towards the animals, the insect kingdom, unloving towards our environment, and unloving towards their own personal, private relationship or communication with God. Because of these emotional injuries that we attracted the moment we were incarnated in our mother's womb. And this creates all of our addictions, creates all of our attachments and codependencies. It creates every single one of our sicknesses, diseases, and illnesses in the physical body. So emotions or emotional feelings, or you can say emotional vibrational frequencies, it is an energy, but the deep root meaning is it's all emotional. The true language of communication throughout this infinite multiverse is emotional communication. It's not the words that come out of my mouth. So it's very important. It's very imperative for each individual not to get so hung up on the words that are being spoken through my mouth, because they are just words of vibrational symbols or signs of communication. So if you get emotionally triggered or emotionally charged, or if you feel like there's an emotion of annoyance, frustration, or irritation, or maybe an emotion of doubt and confusion that comes up through the words that I'm speaking, don't respond unlovingly to yourself or towards others or towards me. Certain words can emotionally trigger and charge people like that. I can say the word religion, and some of you will get emotionally triggered or emotionally charged with certain emotions based on how you were raised in religion. Do you understand? If I say the word God, some of you will be emotionally charged and emotionally triggered. Now, I encourage you, if you get emotionally triggered or charged, don't react in an unloving way. Just allow yourself to pause, breathe, and allow yourself to feel the emotions that are coming up without responding in an unloving way. without physically or verbally or emotionally attacking me, attacking yourself, or attacking anyone else. They are just words of symbols. This is why I use lots of words for one statement, because I know that I'm talking to many different personalities, many different backgrounds, many different childhood belief systems, many different adult belief systems. We have multiple belief systems, opinions, and assumptions that create our lifestyle. So if you get emotionally charged by any word, whether I use the word sex, or if I say the word vagina or dick or anything, just allow yourself to pause and breathe and be emotionally responsible in your own emotions. Because the truth is that I'm not the root issue of your pain. I'm not the root. I'm just the effect of your own personal law of attraction, which is God's messenger of truth, showing you what you're emotionally avoiding. I'm not your issue. I'm not your healer. I'm not your savior. And I'm not the root cause of your pain. So it's up to each individual to accept full ownership and accountability and responsibility for the emotions that come up to them when they're interacting with life, with your partners, with your children, when you're reading a book, when you're at work, when you're driving on the freeway. Whether they're painful emotions or pleasurable emotions, it's the individual's responsibility to take full accountability of the emotions that come up. So certain emotions will come up in this video when I'm talking about divine sacred sex, when I'm talking about sexual wounds or sexual abuses that we all have lived in, and when I talk about soulmates. So before I go there, I want to share this with you. I'm in love with life. I am so in love with me. The love that's growing for me is amazing. It's incredibly magical. The love that's growing for my soul family throughout this infinite multiverse, absolutely incredible. The love that's growing for the animals and the insects in my environment. The love that's growing for God, this divine oversoul entity that has no gender, that has masculine and feminine qualities and attributes, that is the most loving personality, the most loving entity in the infinite multiverse. The love that's growing for my divine mother and my divine father, the love that's growing for me, the love that's growing for my soulmate, the other half of me, which is the complete union of the soul, because that's who we really are, everyone. We are not a physical avatar body. We are using the physical avatar body to experience life in the physical realms. We have another spiritual body. It's another material body that looks very similar to this body. It's called the spiritual body or the spiritual avatar to experience spiritual real life realities in other dimensional locations throughout the multiverse. Hi, Rochelle. Love you, soul sister. But who we really are is a soul with our own memories, our own emotions, our own personality, our own lights, colors, sound, and geometry within the soul. And you and I have an opportunity to grow infinitely, forever, unlimited, limitless, in unconditional love and forgiveness for ourselves and others with Source Creator. This is who we are. We are a soul. Oscar, my brother, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I love you, brother. Thank you so much. for being part of this journey with me. Love you, Ben. But that's who we are. We are infinite lights of color, sound, and geometry in our own memories, passions, personality, talents. And as we're growing and receiving love from Source Creator or God, or you can say our true divine oversoul parent, we have the ability to receive infinite talents. Infinite talents of downloads of communication to help us in every aspect of our life in materializing, manifesting, and creating everything that your hearts desire. That's in complete full alignment with God's love and truth. Do you know that? And you'll be able to do this with your soulmate, the other half of your soul. So if you're a brother of mine and you're homosexual, you have a male soulmate in a male physical body. That is the truth. If you're a soul sister of mine and you're homosexual, you have a soulmate in a female body. They might be living in the physical realm. They've already might have transitioned into the spiritual realm. But we all have soulmates. And you'll come to figure this out as you're navigating and discerning everything that comes in your life. So, I don't suggest or encourage you that you need to trust me or believe me. I encourage and suggest everyone that's on this video to challenge me, to challenge everything that I'm going to share with you. Because this is how you find absolute truth on your own, having a personal, private relationship with the highest emotional integrity of truth and honesty with yourself and others and with God. As you're navigating and discerning everything, the puzzle pieces will come together and you will find absolute truth on how things really operate and function on all levels of existence, physically, spiritually, at the soul level. You will come to figure out how everything operates and functions with God's non-physical divine laws that govern our life, that govern our existence, that govern every moment of our life. Every moment is communicating to us. We, children of God, most of us are living rebelliously. We live with self-pride. We live with stubbornness. Why? Is because most of us are still living in childhood rebellious emotional traumas, wounds, or emotional sins. Now, how do I know this? Because the puzzle pieces for me are coming together. I don't know it all, but I know enough to share this with you. The absolute truth is that there is a God. I'm not the God. You are not the God, but you are created in the image of God. So that does make you children or souls of the Source Creator. So that makes you celestial royalty. Celestial royalty. Or you can say divine, angelic, benevolent, celestial royalty. We are all sons and daughters of God. It doesn't matter whether a person is living in the most evil, most demonic way of living in their own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. All people, whether you're choosing to live an unloving life or a loving life, we are all children of the divine oversoul, mother, Father, Source Creator. That is the truth. Most people still have a lot of doubt and confusion whether there is a creator. There is. It's very rational and it's very logical. It shows in math, it shows in science, it shows in nature. It's actually very simple to understand this. Look around you. Feel around you. Look at the intelligence of your physical body. Look at the intelligence of nature. Look at it through a microscope, up in the air, the star system. We live in a soul system, everyone, and we are molding it through our own thoughts and emotions and behaviors. We are the molders. We are the designers. We are the coders. We are the programmers, because we've been created in the image of God. We are creators. We are designers. We are the engineers. We are the architects. Some of us are using this energy in a very unloving way, and they're molding their craft in a very destructive way. Some of us, like me, are molding the soul system in a very loving way, in complete alignment with Source Creator's love and truth. So I'm in love with life. And it's only going to continue to get stronger. This love bond that's creating for myself and others and my soulmate and for nature and for God, it's only going to get stronger. It's only going to become more developed. I'm going to be able to do miraculous things on a metaphysics level, on an energetic healing level, on a light frequency level. And this is the opportunity that you and I have as we're becoming new entities or new creatures while receiving God's love that will change us into a new entity. Or you can say being spiritually reborn again. Or you can say becoming Christ-like or Christ consciousness. And myself and a few other soul brothers and sisters are leading the way of changing and assisting and supporting the healing and the awakening that's happening on this earth realm. Because the truth is that we all have an opportunity to create a utopian, divine, paradise, heaven on this earth realm. We have that opportunity. There are many things that I can share with you about what I've experienced in the last 13 years of my emotional soul healing with God. Many. But what I do want to share with you, since I've created the foundation and broke down the framework of this video, what I do want to share with you is I want to share with you about sex. I want to share with you about divine, sacred sexual unionship with your soulmate. And I want to talk about sexual wounds or sexual sins. Now, I grew up in a very sexually abusive home. When I was incarnated in my mother's womb, I was bombarded with a lot of sexual injuries. On my mother's side, we had rape, pedophilia, and molestation. On my father's side, we had rape, pedophilia, and molestation. Both parents, my biological grandparents, and my family line has dealt with a lot of sexual abuse. So when I was incarnated in my mother's womb, what do you think happened to me? What do you think I felt as a baby in my mother's womb? I felt all of my mother and father's emotional injuries. This is why children, a lot of them, get sick at a very early age. This is why children get in these child tantrums, or they cry a lot, because they're emotionally feeling their environment. Not just in their awake state, but they're emotionally feeling their unloving environment in their sleep state as well. And so we don't get just sexually abused with all kinds of sexual traumas in our awake state. Do you know when we go to sleep, everyone, when our physical body is resting and recharging and recovering, our physical body is connected to a silver cord to the back of your spine. And it's connected to a spiritual body, which is another spiritual avatar. And so when a physical body is resting and sleeping, you are living life, creating all kinds of realities in the spiritual world, or you can say dimensional location, or you can say another world. And when we're children and when we're sleeping, and when you are raised in a lot of sexual abuse in your awake state from your physical parents and your biological family line, and this unloving environment that is completely sexually injured, when children are sleeping, they're also experiencing that same type of sexual abuse happening from other soul brothers and sisters of ours that are perpetrating them or acting sexually upon them and sexually grooming them in all sorts of unloving ways when they're sleeping. And the reason why this is only allowed is because of the gift of free will. There's a gift of free will that God has given us. And so the only reason why children are being harmed this way is because their parents and our unloving humanity are not taking responsibility for their emotional soul healing with Source Creator. So what happens is we create open, damaged emotional portals or vortexes. We create these emotional openings for people in the physical realm and spiritual realm to come on in, emotionally hook themselves on us, and then they overcloak us, influence us, and possess us. They coach us, manipulate us, and brainwash us while sexually grooming us from the child state. There are massive sexual damaged organizations and cults, or you can say even secret societies in the physical realm and spiritual realm, harvesting themselves and grooming children at a very young age. And this is what's happened to me. This is what's happened to hundreds of millions of people. In this reality, hundreds of billions of children throughout our lifetime, throughout the existence of this earth realm. And so when a child grows up with this type of sexual abuse, what do you think that child becomes into? Some of children are totally afraid of sex. Can't even talk about sex. It triggers them too much. Can't talk about it. Can't explore down here. Can't explore touching yourself. Can't explore in the sexual curiosity. There's a lot of shame. There's a lot of judgment. A lot of men and a lot of women, when they're in that sexual trauma, they run from it. They don't even want to experiment with it. They don't even want to be curious about it. They don't even want to explore in it. Some children, which has happened to me, we overuse it. We overexploit it. We overthink in it. We overfeel in it. We overbehave in it. So we're over-sexualizing ourselves. We use sex for domination, for power, for control. We use sex when we're lonely. We over-sexualize and over-sexually masturbate. We get into multiple sexual relationships. We get into multiple marriages, multiple divorces. We over-sexualize ourselves in the gym, working out, trying to become sexually beautiful. We get breast implants. We overuse makeup. We prostitute ourselves for the sex. We prostitute ourselves for the money. We get cheek implants, lip, the feeling of the lips. We do all sorts of things to have this sexual control. It's very damaging in the world. It's so damaging that it's being sexually groomed in our children with movies, marketing, advertising, commercials, cartoons, Disney. So we've all been groomed somehow, some way in these sexual abuses. In religion, in spiritual organizations. And I am one of them. I'm one of them. People have no idea how much they harm themselves, how much pain and damage that they've created with themselves and with others and with other sexual relationships, because they're not willing to be emotionally responsible in feeling through their emotional sexual traumas. This is why this is the root issue. This is why the sexual pain is rooted in your genitals, in your lower chakra area, in your sacral area. It affects everything. It affects your self-love, your self-worthiness, your self-respect. It negatively affects everything. And we live in these sexual traumas and these sexual wounds because we want to feel loved, because we didn't feel loved as a child. We want to feel liked. We want to feel approved of. We want to feel invited in. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel needed. We want to feel the affection and that intimacy. And so we live in these sexual wounds, sexually promiscuing ourselves, sexually interacting with ourselves and others, not just in the physical realm, but we're also sexually interacting with other spirits in the awake state and sleep state that are emotionally hooking onto us because they share the same sexual emotional wounds. Now, as you heal yourself with God and you allow yourself to stop sexually pleasing yourself, when you stop having sex with other people that you're not in love with, when you take that sexual break to heal yourself with God, the people that are around you that are causing sexual harm to you in the physical and spiritual realm, they leave because they know that they can't penetrate you emotionally or energetically at that vibrational frequency level like they used to. They can't influence you or manipulate you like they used to. And this is what's currently happening to me right now. For the past 4 years, I've been experimenting having no sex. For the past 4 years, I've been experimenting not sexually pleasing myself. For the past 4 years, I've been diving deeper in my own sexual wounds. And this is what I've been experimenting, and this is what I've been experiencing. A man and woman's seed is very sacred. It's actually a healing power that if you save for yourself and for your soulmate, because sex is designed to have a sexual interaction with the other half of your soul. We're not here to fuck everyone. We're not here to have sexual unity with everyone. Some of us have that belief system. I used to have that belief system. It's part of the journey. It's part of the path of learning and growing and evolving. I used to have that emotion inside of me that, well, if I'm loving and there's an agreement and, both are emotionally conscious and emotionally intelligent, it doesn't really matter like who I'm having sex with. If we come in a conscious agreement, it's okay. And the truth is, it's not okay. That sexual play and sexual interaction is sacred. It's pure. It's divine. And as you grow more in love, you will come to understand fully, emotionally, that this is the pure way. You're purifying yourself in Source Creator's love and truth. You're purifying yourself with the love for yourself and the love for the other half of your soul, which is your soulmate. You have one soulmate. You don't have many. You don't have multiple soulmates. You don't have multiple twin flames. You have one. When you were incarnated, your soul split in half and created 4 bodies. You have a physical body. Your soulmate has a physical body. You have a spiritual body. Your soulmate has a spiritual body. You have free will and they have free will. So I know who my soulmate is. And I'm very blessed. I've known for the last 2 years. Now, if you think you're my soulmate, there's an emotion behind that. And the truth is that you're not my soulmate. Because we're not friends on Facebook. We're not friends on Instagram. She doesn't follow me. She doesn't follow me on YouTube. So if you think you're emotionally my soulmate, you're not. And I'm not yours. There are women that I've interacted with on Facebook and social media for the past 4 or 5 years now. And, as you're growing and evolving, you think that's the one. But as you dive deeper in conversation and you dive deeper into emotional intelligence, you come to figure out very quickly that we're not soulmates and that we're just living in addiction. We're living in sexual injuries. We're living in attachments. We're living in codependencies. So if you're watching this video live, or if you're watching it in a pre-recording later down the road, and you feel that you're my soulmate, you are not my soulmate. You are a beautiful soul sister of mine. And it feels so good to take deeper, full ownership of knowing that I can interact with gorgeous, beautiful, divine goddesses, daughters of God, that I can physically see and be like, damn, she is incredibly gorgeous, but I don't want to fuck you. Do you know how satisfying that is for a man? At least for me. There are men out there that can look at a soul sister, see their emotional intelligence, see their soul development with God, see their divine warriorship as like this independent queen, and they have no desire to have sex with them. That's what I'm growing into. I'm honoring my soul sisters in such a more beautiful, sacred, pure, divine way that I've never experienced before until now. And you know why this is happening? Do you know why this is happening? Is because I sexually have challenged myself not to fuck myself every day. Not to open up those sexual portals so other unloving demonic demons can enter me and fuck me while I'm fucking myself, while I'm interacting with them emotionally and energetically. I don't want to do that anymore. The only person that I want to have sex with is the other half of me, is my soulmate, is my girl, my lady, me. That's the girl that I want. I don't want anyone else but her. And I want to interact with my soul brothers and soul sisters in the most loving, most truthful, most humble, most purest way. Because in order for me to become the teacher that I'm becoming, I have to take full responsibility in these sexual traumas that I grew up with. I have to release the anger around it. I have to release the fear around it. I have to release this deep grief around it. Because if I don't, what happens is that we live in a spiritual facade. We live in a religious facade. And I've done this before. We live in this religious intellectual intelligence. We live in this spiritual intellectual intelligence. Look at me, everyone. I'm wise. I'm knowledgeable. I know about metaphysics. I know how energy operates. I know how vibrations and frequency operate. I know how the multiverse operates. Look at me, everyone. I know God. I know love. Look at me, everyone. I'm a vegan. Look at me, everyone. I do plant medicine ceremonies. I hang out with gurus and shamans. I'm traveling to India and South America. I'm traveling to Greece. Look at me, everyone. I'm part of the Galactic Federation of Light. I know my Pleiadian brothers and sisters. I know the true history of Yeshua and Mary. Look at me, everyone. Look at me. Now, do you want to fuck me? It's a religious, spiritual, sexual vampire that a lot of men and women play in this spiritual community. I was one of them. I was one of them. You're a spiritual, sexual vampire. Because the individual is not willing to feel through their sexual pain and their sexual traumas that they received from mommy and daddy, from their family line, and from this unloving environment that we were born into. And we spiritually, sexually manipulate, coach, and brainwash, and we groom other women and men because this is exactly what was taught to us. So we do the same thing to our soul brothers and sisters. How damaging is that? How painful is that? That's the root of your pain. So there are a lot of people that are spiritual teachers and spiritual communicators and spiritual public speakers, and they're writing books, and they're creating workshops, and they're creating spiritual coaching sessions, and they are lying to themselves, lying to others, because they love the control. We're emotionally addicted to being in control. We're emotionally addicted to being self-reliant. We're emotionally addicted to doing it our way because we're comfortable living and enjoying what we're doing in the sexual addictions that we're doing to ourselves and others. We enjoy it, or we wouldn't do it. It's an addiction like any other addiction. It doesn't matter if it's an alcohol addiction, a drug addiction, a vaping addiction, a marijuana addiction, a smoking, a cigarette addiction, overworking addiction, overthinking addiction. It doesn't matter. It's another addiction that we enjoy doing it. We actually treasure it more than treasuring being loving. We treasure it, or we wouldn't do it. The deep truth about healing is when an individual can be this honest and this truthful and this type of emotional integrity in front of the world. In front of the world. That's healing. Because if you can't share your true self to the world, we live in sexual shame and sexual judgment, sexual blame, and we hide in these hidden, dark sexual skeletons. We hide, but then we put on a mask and we put on a facade, and then we lie to others that we're really good people. We're really loving people. Look at me. We're really spiritual. I'm divine. I'm sacred. I do ayahuasca. I do San Pedro. Look at me. I'm connecting with the animals. I'm connecting with the insects. Don't you love me? Look at me. Look at me. I'm going to all of these like yoga workshops. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. It's so selfish. It's so self-centered. I'm being quite direct right now because what I'm sharing with you, everything that I've shared with you, I've done. I've done it. And this is part of the emotional repentance and forgiveness process that we have to go through to purify ourselves emotionally so we can be more loving and truthful and humble to ourselves and others. It's very important, everyone. It's very important. There are a lot of children out there, lots of children, including my own. They're in this sexual pain. They're in this sexual trauma. It's very, very unloving what other soul brothers and sisters do to us and what we're doing to others in sexual promiscuity. This unloving sexual energetic connection. The unloving sexual flirtations. It's not pure. The most loving, most angelic, most benevolent, most celestial beings of light, they don't play in sexual flirtation. They're not fucking everyone emotionally or energetically. Do you understand this? The most loving entities in this realm and other realms, they don't have a belief like we're all sexual one and we should all be sexually playing with each other and that, we should be sexually gratifying our bodies to the world. Now, our bodies are beautiful. The truth is that like when you get to a loving place, like if someone wants to walk around naked, they're allowed to walk around naked. But it's very difficult to do that in this earth realm because there's just so much sexual injuries. And if there's so much sexual injuries and we see a naked man or a naked woman walking around because they want to express their authentic loving self in a loving, pure way, because there are a lot of people that get naked because they want the love and they want the attention and they want the control. But let's say they did it in a very loving, pure way. There are a lot of people that will respond in a very unloving, sexual way. The truth is, there's no difference between a pinky and a boob. There's no difference between your ears and your genitals. It's just a body function. That is it. It's a body function. So we shame it, we judge it, we overuse it, we underuse it. It's okay to be curious. It's okay to explore. It's okay to adventure. It's okay to find out the truth through personal experimentation. This is why we have the gift of free will. But once you find out the true meaning of sex, you get it. I understand it now. I'm still understanding it. I'm still getting it. Because I don't want to get stuck. I don't want to get stagnant. I don't know it all. But I know enough to get what I'm getting. And that is that when I stop sexually pleasing myself and when I stop having sex with other women, this energy that I feel, this energy rotates through my chakra points in my kundalini, and it strengthens me. It gives me more power. It gives me more creativity. It gives me more strength. I can feel it healing my body and giving me more energy. Instead of releasing it on me or in another female, I'm holding it in and allowing it to spread and blossom the fruits of my existence. So it's men, women, keep that sexual energy inside of you. If you get sexually turned on, if you get sexually aroused, hold it in, keep it, breathe through it. Allow yourself to feel through it. Allow yourself to see what memories come up. Allow yourself to see why you're being sexually aroused in that moment. Communicate with it, love it, appreciate it, honor it, embrace it without releasing it, but hold it in. Strengthen yourself, because that deeply rooted, grounded seed of life and energy that is being created in the lower chakra points can be so uplifting. It can be so empowering. It can be so healing. And that energy that's coming up will come up to your heart chakra, your throat chakra, the head heaven of your crown, and it will keep growing and evolving. The downloads you receive, the information you receive, the talents, the love, the wisdom, the knowledge you receive, the truth you receive, this will happen infinitely. So I'm currently 9 days in, 9 days in of no sexually pleasing myself. And I've done this for a couple months, but I'm done. I don't want to sexually please myself any longer. Based on what I've been experimenting for the last 4 years, I feel so much stronger when I don't. And I'm going to wait until my love comes back into my life. My girl, my lady, my darling. And I know who she is. And I miss her. I miss her tremendously. But she's diving deep in her own healing with God, and eventually it's an inevitable. We will come back to each other. And when that day comes, I will show her off to the world. I will show her off to the world. Oh my goodness, my beautiful soul brothers and sisters. I appreciate you guys being on this video. If you really enjoyed the video, please share it with your soul family, groups, download it, upload it, share it across the internet. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for holding space for me. Thank you so much for challenging me and experimenting with what I'm teaching you. Because it's all for you. It's all for you. Every moment is all for you. This video was all for you. What a gift. What a gift for myself and for all of us that's been on this video. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.